about playing Air Force, and you guys have talked a little bit this year about certain motivations, and since you haven't ever won at Air Force, how much of a motivating factor is that this week, in considering the history you've had with them?
Yeah, I think any competitor, that motivates. It should. If it doesn't, then we have a problem. Air Force, a lot of respect for them. Coach Calhoun always does a great job. The kids play hard. We've had some really good games with them, and yeah, for our guys, we're on the road, so we got to go win on the road again, and to play at their stadium, to play against this team. I hope our guys are excited about that. I hope that we have guys here that are ready to prepare themselves to go play their best this week and be better than we were the previous game, and then to go accept that challenge of being on the road and playing against Air Force there and having a chance and an opportunity to win, hopefully.
I know I asked you this a couple weeks ago, but how would you assess the linebackers? I think it seems like maybe the production or lack thereof is magnified, not having Leighton Vander Esch in there. But how would you assess those guys? And certainly, every time you play Air Force, I've seen you platoon backers pretty much agast that team, and that's obviously a very important position against this deep offense.
Yeah, I don't know the comparison of production. I'm sure you have more stats than I do that way, but a little bit like when you had Kellen Moore here, and you had some of these, you had Jay Ajayi here. I mean, everybody, Leighton Vander Esch, that's going to be the standard. And he was an exceptional player. Do we have that one guy like Leighton right now? No, we don't. Do we have multiple players that can go out there and do their job and make plays? Yes, we do. Do we need to utilize multiple players against Air Force in this game? Probably. And, I think it's a matter of, that group continually growing, that group when they get their opportunities, making plays, and, not letting some of those comparisons really come into play. I think that's, for those guys, they can't control that. It is what it is. The guy that played in front of him, it's like said, and the wide receivers. I mean, everybody's going to have some type of comparison that's put on them from the outside. For us, it's just a matter of do your job. Let's try to have 11 guys out there doing their job, be in the right place. When you get the opportunity to make a play, make it. And that's really where we are right now, instead of trying to put it all on one guy. And I think our team understands that, and it'll be no different. We're going to have that from the defense now, because it might be the corner, might be the safety, might be the backer, might be the D-end, might be whoever that gets the opportunity to make the tackle, because you never know where the ball is going to go. And all those guys have to be on point. And they're going to have to make one-on-one open field in space tackles, which we did last year. And there's some games we didn't do that. So we're going to have to make sure that we're able to work through that this week and get our guys in the right position. Then you got to go make the play.
Garrett Collingham, a guy that's played several different positions here, offense, defense. I think he even punted a little, he said, when he got here. I mean, and got his first touchdown on Friday night. For a guy like that to kind of persevere and pay his own way and stuff to come and try to keep looking for a spot and find one that he's having some success in here. I guess, what's that say about him and just the journey he's been on?
Sure. Well, he's still on it, and I would say that's kind of the Bronco way right there. Guys like that, whether you're a walk-on or you're a guy in here with a big chip on your shoulder trying to prove something, that seems to be the type of guys that we do well with. And he's moved around from position, you named them all right there. I mean, he's done all those things. So really unselfish. What does it take for me to get on the field? What do I have to do to go out there and contribute? And that's really been what he's asked each and every week. Now he's playing a specific position, but since he's been here, what do I have to do? He's been on kickoff and kickoff return and playing special teams, and also out there on offense. He got his chance. He had a big catch on third down. He had the touchdown run. Hopefully he continues to be a playmaker for us. That way we can find ways to get him the ball.
I wanted to ask you about how you think that John Ojukwu at right tackle and Dante Harrington did at right guard, and maybe, I don't know if they did well enough that you want to continue rolling with those guys, but just want to get your thoughts on that and maybe that side moving forward.
Yeah, I thought they played really well. I thought John in particular, Dante was good, going out there and guard's hard. There's a lot of things going on inside, and I think when another team identifies a new player at that position, they're going to bring some different pressures. They're going to try to do some things. I would. And he handled it pretty well. There was a few mistakes in there, but as you go back, probably ones that in practice we didn't quite give them that look. It was something new. They took advantage of it. He adjusted well throughout the game, so that's always a positive. He handled himself well in the game. As far as those guys being solidified, I think John's done a really good job. He's played there now a couple games and feel confident that he's getting better. We get Eric back. Eric's a guy that's played a lot of snaps for us, so we get him back. He'll be back in at guard. We'll see how that goes this week. He looks great. Hopefully we get him back for practice and we can get him back in this week. If not, Dante and I thought Garrett Larson played a really good game too, one of his better games. So having two new guys to your right, really, Garrett's got to be able to direct that and make the calls, and he did a good job. And our left side, Ezra and John, both those guys played solid in the game as well.
Play Air Force, everyone talks about the triple option and the defensive side, but in your 3 losses against them, you've only scored about 20 points a game. Last year you scored 44 and you win. I mean, when you get less possessions and stuff like that against that kind of offense, how important is it for your offense, I guess, to take advantage of the possessions and score points?
Yeah. Well, I think that's always the case. And these teams that run the ball, it's not always just the triple option teams. The teams that run the ball and they do it well, you've got to take advantage of it. Now, every possession we get on offense, we want to score. We want to put points on the board. So I think a lot of times you're going to look at it and go, we're going to get less snaps, which we do. I'm not sure what our average is right now. It's in the high 70s at this point. But you're probably going to get less snaps, and you're not going to have as many drives. So points are always important to go down there and put yourself in position, at least to get 3 out of it. You want to score. And then, keeping them out of the end zone as well. Playing great red zone defense is important in these games. And, I think the turnovers have been a factor too. That's been a key in there. We got to hang on to the ball. We got to win the turnover battle. That will help us. That will sustain drives, convert on third downs, which we've done a pretty good job of this year. Hopefully we can continue that. And then you're right. Yeah, we got to take advantage of the opportunities we have and put points up.